everybody, this is Feed My Frankenstein by Alice Cooper. Now, I didn't realize till I started working on this song and researched it that this was actually released by a British band called Zodiac Mind Warp and the Love Reaction on their album Hoodlum Thunder. I knew it was on Hey Stupid by Alice. That's where I was, listening to it and working on it from. But again, in my research, I found out it was in Wayne's World, which I totally forgot so many years ago. But anyhow, a great song, kind of a more modern era feel to it, a little bit more shredding, if you will. So we'll get into the different parts. Alice usually has at least two, sometimes three, for sure three guitarists live. So there are definitely two distinct guitar parts, and I will touch on both of them. So I've written this out. My tab's available right below the video. Go ahead and click on that. You can download the PDF. There's that. And the other thing you need to know, this is in drop D. So we take our standard tuned guitar and we drop the sixth string down to D. We'll get a much heavier tone with that. And the song's going to start out with a D. And it's in 16th notes. So if we count by 4, it's 4 counts of 4. 1 E and a, 2 E and a. Okay? So we're coming in on 4, and it's just going to be a down, up, down. Okay, so 4 E and a. And then we go into open 6th string. Like I said, we're in drop D, so that'll be a D. Then we go 3 to 5, back to 3. And then open again. So we have this so far. Then what we're going to do is 2 hits on the open 6th string before we go 3, and then 5th fret of that 6th string slid up to 7. Back to 5, again 7, and slide off. There's one more little part to it. We're going to repeat the very first section. So there's 2 of those. All right. So up to that point, 1, 2, 3, 4. At that point, we're going to move up to the 10th position and do a little dyad lick up there. It's going to be palm muted on the 6th string at 12, and then we'll be jumping a string to the 4th and 3rd string at 10. So it's going to be 4 muted 12s, then we go to 10, muted 12, 10, one more, then we're going to mute 12, and then come 12 to 10. So, all together slowly, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, I'm sorry. So all together, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we start over. Okay, so those 10s and 12s at the end are a little bit quick, but they're definitely there. Slow it down with Riff Station, and you'll have it. And then we are into the rhythm. Now, I included this last measure of, quote, the intro as part of the intro, because he goes through a half measure, if you will, of what verse 1, the first 2 measures are. So the first 2 measures are the same. So let's just say we're going to do a half measure, and it's just going to be, there's 2 guitars. So I'm going to talk about both guitars here. So the first one's just going to be chugging on the 6th and 5th string. And it'll sound like this. Okay, So we'll do, like I said, a half measure of that, and then he will start singing. We'll do a full measure of it, and then another full measure. 1, 2, 3 chugs, and then a quick two together. And then 2 sets of 4. So 1 down, up, twice. All right, so we have this. Then another. All right, so if we take it a little faster, because it's kind of hard to do slow. That would be a half measure. We went through it twice. And then we start, or Alice starts singing with this guitar 1, I'll call it. So those verse chugs are consistent with both verses, and it does come in during, I think it's the bridge. We'll talk about it when we get there. But guitar 2, again, follows this, and it's really following the bass. So we're going to be doing this. All right, so let's take just one part of that, all right, the main part. We're going to do 2 chugs, and then a 3 pulled off to open, and 2 more quick chugs, and then 3 chugs. Then we'll do another 3 pulled off to open and 2 quick chugs, and that's the first kind of section or half measure. All right, so slowly, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we'd repeat. And that would give us a measure. So we'll do that another set, and that is guitar 2 for the verses and the bridge, okay? And then we are into the pre-chorus. The pre-chorus is quite different in its construction. In one section, we'll start with that. I'll call it guitar 1. And guitar 2 is a little more chugging on the 5th string and giving us that kind of rhythm. This pre-chorus, guitar 1 is going to be here at the 5th position to start, and then we'll be doing a walk up from the 2nd position chromatically. All right, it'll start out like this. All right, so what we're doing, and this is kind of a rhythm you just have to get in your head if you're playing this part of it, because of the bends on the 5 are just a little different the second time through. All right, so the first part, or I should say second part through, this first part will hit the 7th fret of the 4th string and then the 5th fret of the 3rd string with a slight bend. Now those 7s will be twice. Then what we're going to do is hit 7 twice again, but we're going to go 5 back to 7 very quickly, no bend, and then back to 5 with a bend. So it'll sound like this. So we have this so far. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, the first half will do the very first part again. Then we're going to come right to the 4th string at 5, hit that a quick twice, one more time before we go to 6. We'll walk up and then we start again, and after the quick 5 to 7 to 5 bend, we change it. All right, so we start out with the first 2 parts the same. After that bend, we jump to the 2nd fret and go 2, 3, 4 on the 3rd string, and then move your hand and go to the 5th, 6th, and 7th fret. I mean, you can do it whatever way you want. Doesn't matter, but it sounds, I don't know, it just feels natural to do it here. So guitar 2 will be mainly hanging out here at the muted 5th string, and we will go to the 6th string. Okay, not that smooth, I apologize. I haven't really practiced that a whole lot, but I think it's one of the things, the more you do it, it would make sense. We're following that rhythm. And then in the quick. So all open 5th string to 3rd fret, some with pulls, some not, depending on where we're at. First one will be with slight bend. The second one, the first 3 will not be bent, and the second one will. Then we repeat that first part. Then we go to the 5th fret of the 6th string, hit that the quick twice, and then one more time before we go to 6. Then we repeat the first 2 parts of that. And then we do that chromatic walk-up. This walk-up will be on the 5th string, harmonizing with that walk-up on the 3rd string. We'll be doing open 5th string to fret 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Alright, that is guitar 2 for the pre-chorus. So chorus 1 is the intro. It's lick and the little... Alright, he'll do that twice through, then we're into verse 2 with both guitars doing their chugging rhythm. Alright, and then we are into another pre-chorus. Then we go to chorus 2. Now the trick with chorus 2, if you will, or the difference between chorus 2 and 1, chorus 2 is twice as long. Alright? So we will go through the whole thing 4 times. So we'll do a total of 4 of those, and then we are into the bridge where you hear some weird string things going on. Now this bridge, think of it as another verse. It's just... Okay, that's one guitar. We got that going on, but you'll hear other effects going on. So like I said, during the bridge, which is another verse rhythm, 2 measures, and not really sung, but you hear a lot of sliding the pick, not so much on the wound strings, but more on the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st unwound, and against the frets. And then occasionally you also hear... They're just doing all kinds of cool effects that, you know, again, I didn't quite figure out, but I think it's a great place to do your own thing there. And then we are into the solo rhythm. So the solo rhythm, because think of the bridge and then the solo rhythm. While the bridge is basically the verse, the solo rhythm starts out with our pre-chorus. All right? But they change keys. So we're going to move everything down a full step. We will be at 5 and 3. Okay, we do that just one time through, and then again, because we've changed keys, we're going to do the chorus in 3 to 6, third position. Alright, so it'll sound like this. Alright, then they just stop. They don't do anything there. Alright, the lead is playing. They don't do any changes there. They just stop. And then it repeats. So we're going 3 to 6, up to 8, back to 6 and 3. Then we go 3 to 6, and then 8 slid to 10. And then back to 8 and 10. Alright, so we have this so far. Repeat one more time that 3 to 6 and then 8 to 6. The third or the second time through, you just hear a bar dive. I'm pretty sure it's the A string. And it's brought back up very slowly and honestly kind of hard to replicate. So again, great place to improvise. So after that, we've got guitar 2, which is also doing this solo rhythm. 2 is going to follow a very similar pattern, but again, we're in drop D, and we're going to use the 6th string, so we're going to actually start out on the 5th fret. And we'll be doing a similar pattern. 5 twice to 8, slight bend, 5 twice, and then 8 to 5, and then back to 8 bent. Then one more 5 to 8 twice, or 2 5s to 8. And then we just move to 3. And he really only does 2 hits of 3 to 4, not a that I can hear. But either way, okay? So we have this so far, slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so our ascending pattern is right here on the 4th string, 5, 6, 7, and then 8, 9, 10. Alright, so that whole first part of the solo rhythm with guitar 2. Slowly, 1, 2, 3, 4. They really follow they just do that on the 5th string along with guitar 1. So solo rhythm guitar 2, the only difference is at the first measure. And then we are into chorus 3, which takes us out. All right. Really, we know this. It is okay, so we're going to do that 3 times. The 4th time, there's a nice little lick that the bass matches. And we're going to go all the way up till we get to this position. Alright, what he does at that point is slide in to the 4th string at 12 and does a little lick. Alright, so we're sliding into 10, into 12 on the 4th string, and then hitting 10. Then we come up to the 5th string, 12, 11, 10. Move back to 8, 10. And then what we're going to do is 8-10 again. Then what we're going to do is 8 to 5, back to 5, and then 3 to 5. All right, so we have this 1, 2, 3, 4. It's really a nice little pattern that can't go to the 6th string because again we're dropped down and you'd have to really change your fingering. Great little lick that not only do a lot of people catch, but the bass is following that up here. Either way, then we're going to do probably, I think it's 3 and start fading out of that lick. And you hear guitar just kind of improvising over that. So all of that you can do D minor, pentatonics and scales, and you will be able to sound good with it. So that's all of the song. Again, my notes will be below. I hope that helps everybody. Enjoy.